Guys. So this week we are talking about obedience. We covered the fact that obedience is the submission to another's authority and why that's difficult for us. Yesterday we looked a little bit at some examples, David and Samson and Solomon, and how disobedience just really kind of infiltrates some blessings. Now, if you look, you just read through the Old Testament, and you will just see time and time again the God's people just being disobedient, just turning their backs on Him, and then it's just like the same story over and over again. And sometimes we're thinking, these guys do not know better. But then we look at our own lives and we're thinking, how many times do we repeat that same pattern? One of the interesting stories in that I read was the story about the king called by the name of Rehoboam. And as I read that story, I realized what is the importance of having good counsel and how listening to good counsel in your life. And so the story with him was that he had to make a very big decision, and please go and have it. Read it. It's a good story to delve into. He had to make a big decision, and so he started and he said, "Listen, I'm going to call the elders around and the people that my dad trusted as the king before me, and I'm going to get counsel from him." And so the guys gave him good advice. They told him what they suggested they would do. They were all in agreement. They had experience, and these were good guys and good counsel. But he then decided to rather go and talk to his friends. So how often do we go like the people around us and we don't like the message? Like, I think in his case again, like so many of them, just overinflated sense of self, wanted to do something more, wanted to follow his own lead. Maybe the advice he got was just not particularly what he wanted to hear at that stage. It didn't fit into the picture. And so there was again a resistance. There was not even obedience in that space. And he was resisting it, so he went to his friends. Well, I can imagine all these young, rich kids, all important guys in the kingdom, and they had a different story. They were from a different. Their characters was from a different fabric, and so in the end of the day, they gave him advice, which was bad advice, and he followed that advice. Oh my word! And the result of that was war, a kingdom that was split. Now, if you start looking at the stories around here and the impact of obedience, in that case, it literally meant a whole kingdom was split. Imagine the ordinary lives, the people that wasn't involved in that space and how their lives got affected by it. And we have to understand that when we are rebelling against God's authority and we are disobedient to the things that He asks us to do, there is consequences. There are consequences in those spaces, and we have to consider that. And maybe that's maybe something that we can consider as we journey with God and as we ask Abba for guidance, and that we would be aware of the stuff that He's asking us in. As a beloved son, if I am not obedient to the things He's asking, the consequences in my life about that.